Snapchat. So you can use that as well. But I just found, it's okay to find your little niche, what works for you, and then go from there, exploit that. So when it comes to Instagram, if you don't have an Instagram, I think you should make one. I think most kids, obviously, a lot of kids are at TikTok nowadays, but we can't really utilize TikTok in an official manner. But Instagram, it gives you a lot of return on investment, more so than Facebook. Even Facebook is now a little older generation, but you still get people out of Facebook. But I'm gonna touch a lot on Instagram. So on Instagram, a few things you want to do. So, and I'm touching on a few other slides, but make sure your page is a business page. Reason being because you're going to get a lot of data from it, and it also gives you additional tools. So this is just a few examples of some individuals. So you always want to make it short. Don't write a whole paragraph um, on your bio. It only gives you a certain amount of words, but put some stuff in there that might grab people's attention. Also, you want to add your address and your phone number. So one of the things about business profile, if you see on some of those, you have text, you have the ability to book now, email. So a lot of people can actually click on your page, and it give you the address to your station. Also, it will give them email address. You can put whatever email, whether your personal or your government email, and also the text option. So I get text messages directly from individuals on my Instagram. And then something that people are starting to use now as well is called Linktree. So on here, if you don't know about Linktree, basically you can have a link where you can link all your accounts. So your Facebook, if you got Twitter, you put them all on one platform, and then individuals can click on there and then they'll have access to all your pages. So that's another thing you could do. And then obviously you can get your own MAC code if your VRS is helpful. That's another thing you can do. So as far as the statistics for the business, right? So the great thing with a business profile is going to show you different things, right? So it's going to show you, where the percentage of where your individuals are coming from as far as like reaching your page. It'll show you, whether male, female, the percentage of that, the age demographics, and then you'll be able to see, let's say the last 90 days of you could do your data, 90 days, whatever the case may be, but it'll tell you like which post did the best. The good thing about that is, you don't want to make the same type of content every time, but it'll help show you, what's been working. So maybe you don't make the same exact content, but something similar to it. And it'll show you the reason why, why the people like, for example, typically when I post pictures of Ranger graduations, drill sergeant pictures, those tend to get a lot of likes and views and whatnot. Now, another thing you want to do, I think the biggest mistake that individuals make when it comes to social media is that they get all hyped up about it and they get excited, but they don't actually put in the time as far as like being consistent on it. You could post something today, once or twice, and then maybe not post for another 5 days, 3 days. That's too much of a gap. If you're gonna use social media, you want to be consistent on it because you're not gonna be able to grow your platform, your brand. You gotta look at your social media like a brand, because it also helps you connect with people outside the army for your future. I've been able to connect with a lot of with individuals and TradeOc and people outside of I've been offered jobs and whatnot outside of the army just because of my social media. So definitely look at it like you're growing your own brand. Everybody's brand is different, but definitely you want to post. I post 3 to 5 times a day, and it may sound like a lot, but it's really not. Especially if you take the time on the weekend to at least find some content and whatnot. If you do, and I always tell people, you want to do self development, just like you do self development with whether it's your MOS or yes, St. Romeo, whether it's going through numbers, pulling reports or whatnot. It's the same thing for social media. You want to do some research. There's a lot of data out there as far as like the best time to post. That's another thing that the statistics is going to tell you. With when you post on your page, the times that do the best. So maybe look at that after maybe like 90 days. Now hey, I'll get a lot more views if I post on at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's the type of stuff that you want to get in and find out. And then an easy way to just if you're not like to get the hang of it. Like I just say, I always make a morning post and something motivational. If you go to lunch, everybody for the most part goes to lunch, even if it's you meal prep or whatever, take a picture of that. And then also, use your future soldiers and whatnot for content. But just posting one time or posting, you might post 5 today, but again, you don't post the next week. It's not really benefiting you anyway. You're not gonna get any return on investment. You're not gonna get stuff right away. It's kind of like having a billboard or leaving your business card at a business. All right, you're not gonna get something right away, but over time, people are gonna keep seeing that business card, that advertisement, and eventually you're gonna start getting some return on investment. All right, so what I initially did, to grow my following and whatnot. So when I looked at my main high school, for example, so I went in there and I wrote down all my high schools as a senior recruiter. And then if you go on Instagram, you can search your high school right now, and you'll see that a lot of your high schools have their own pages, whether it's the actual high school, the football team, the I don't know, volunteer club at the school. The school has like a million. Like most of my schools have like 10 different clubs per school. And even pages that's not officially to the school, but it's followed by a lot of students. So what you want to do is, what I would recommend is, look for those pages like class of 2023. Cyber High School. They're gonna have an actual page. I go in there. It's public. You click on the where it says followers or following 1 to 2. 9 times out of 10 is gonna be kids from that school. So then you just go follow those kids. And now and now you have people from directly from your schools on your, because 9 times out of 10 when you follow somebody, they're gonna follow you back. They may not, but that's a good way as opposed to just randomly following random people or not following anybody at all. You're gonna have a page, but you don't want to just follow army pages, army recruiters. You want to follow people in your area. So definitely, and as you find them, write them down. I got a notebook full of on my notes. I got all the pages that I find written down, and I pass along to the recruiters so they could do the same thing. Now, when you're doing the whole following thing, another thing that you want to do on Instagram, you could search by actual location. So again, you could search Hollywood Hills High School, right, on Instagram, and then by location, and it'll show you everybody that has posted and use that geo tag of that school, right? So as I see, these are the people that have posted, and it's a lot more when you keep scrolling. I can go into the individual picture, and now what I like to do, I like to look for pictures with multiple people in it. So, for example, this young man here, Ruiz, we put him in the Army. He's currently at AIT. So he was a popular kid at the football team. So you go in his pictures. Now he tags, all his football buddies. So what I do, I go in there, I follow each one. So if you go in the picture and it has this little um, icon right here, that means there's a tag on there. You click on it, it's gonna show you all the tags. So now I go in there individually and I follow each person. Um, and then since I know these people know Ruiz, I go in there. I shoot him a message. Hey man, what's going on? And I'm Ruiz's recruiter. I know you guys were in the football team together. I was just wondering maybe you wanted some information like he did. I know you can see how great he's doing. So that's a good one of doing that. And then I just you got the sports teams. You could if you scroll back far enough, I'm sure your schools have a specific location where they do graduation, whether it's at the actual school, maybe a stadium. You scroll back down to like because this go back years, so you can scroll to like the graduation timeline, and you'll see a lot of pictures of kids that graduated high school, right? That's my favorite one, especially you go back grads and stuff. So I go in there, I follow all the kids on the graduation pictures, and I send them a message. Hey, I know you graduated last year. Just trying to see, if anything, how your plans going. You want to talk about the Army? That's a good one if you're looking for grads. And then again, we're limited as far as like going to other people's high school, but grads are open. So again, you could look at some once you run out of your high schools. If you have a small area, you could look at the big high schools in your area. You scroll back down to the graduation pictures, and now all those people you're hitting up, and not necessarily from your specific area, but they're grads. All right, and then again, so geotag. So that's basically on the previous screen. The reason you can find people is because when you're about to post a picture or a video, you could choose a location. So a lot, most of the time when I post something, even if I could be posted for my recruiting office, I'll pick a random place, whether it's the college, the high school, whatever the case may be, and I'll use that as the location. Reason being is because again, just like how I could look for for a specific school, kids are doing the same thing, whether it's for pictures or for whatever random reason somebody may be looking at specific high school. Once I tag them, when they pull up the high school, they're going to see my content, right? So right now, if you pull up St. Augustine High School, which is like, I've run St. Augustine Recruiting Station, so this is our main high school. Right now, if a kid went in there and searched their school, they're going to see like out of the first nine pictures, five of them are my pictures. So these right here. So they may not be getting on there and look for the Army, but then they see something that catches their attention. Now I'm in their brain. Hey, look, well, I'm thinking about joining the Army. Let me hit up this recruiter because I already see him posting, something to my school. So again, it's kind of like living your business card at a business. And it kind of the same thing with hashtags. I always use the hashtag Army Recruiter at a minimum, just because I've had people message me and tell me, hey, I found you by just searching Army Recruiter. People use Instagram sometimes, and same thing like Facebook. They use it as like Google. How you search for a recipe or whatever on Google. It's the same thing with hashtags on Instagram. So that's why you don't want to use too many. Maybe use 5 to 8 at the most. I would say probably like 5 to 6 somewhere around there. But I always make sure I use something like Army Recruiter, so that way people could scroll down. And again, if you look at the top Army Recruiter post, since I always use it, I'll probably pop up there a few times. So, and regardless of where the person's at, when they're looking for Army Recruiter, they're gonna contact me because I was the first person that popped up on their search. And same thing, like you wanna your areas have like local hashtags. So do some research on your colleges. A lot of times the college teams, like they have a specific hashtag like go Seminoles or whatever the case may be. And again, those people that are using those hashtags, you're gonna pop up. You're trying to saturate the market with your page, with your brand, with your face out there. I mean, you do that through doing things like geotag, hashtag, and whatnot. And another thing that with social media, besides posting consistently, the other thing that I think recruiters miss the mark on is you actually like you want to take the time. Me personally, I take it usually on like a Saturday or Sunday, take about an hour 30 minutes. Just finding content that I'm going to use during my week. That way, it frees me up during the week so I can do other things, and I don't have to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour figuring out what I'm going to post or what I'm going to, you know, write on my caption or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of pages out there. So for um, those that don't necessarily want to, you know, get too creative or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of great pages besides the ones I mentioned on here. Army Fresh, Dope Military, Latinos in Uniform, 25th Infantry Division, 82nd Airborne has. So that way you can get more content than just the usual USEREC content. And then also you don't want to. It's okay to share other people's content, but you don't want your page to be all just from one specific recruiter, for example. I always let people share my stuff and whatnot. I have no problems with that, but for that person's development, I always tell them, hey, make sure like create your own stuff so that way, because people at the end of the day are gonna come back to me because they see you got this post for me, whatever the case may be. So we all share each other's stuff, but try to have a good balance as far as like your own stuff. So those pages have a lot of stuff. Also, you can network on those pages. So sometimes if an individual makes a comment, right? I click on their picture and they're like, okay, cool. There's this staff sergeant in Fort Bragg. He has some pretty cool pictures. In uniform, out of uniform, whatever the case me. I send them a message. Hey, do you mind if I share you on my page? 9 times out of 10, most people are gonna let you, share their stuff. So that's not a problem. And then the other thing you could do, just like you can search hashtag for like Army recruiter and stuff, you can search specific MOSs. So if today you want to post something about, a 68 whiskey, you can just type on the Instagram 68 whiskey, scroll down, and you'll see some cool videos. And a lot of times you find original stuff like, it'd be a private somewhere in the barracks that is doing sergeant training. So nothing is it's original. It's not like advertisement, so it looks, people, it touches people a lot more, a lot better. A lot of times people post like barracks videos showing off the barracks or whatever the case may be. So like general content for like kids, that actually were just recruits or whatever the case may be. So take some time and actually figure out what you're gonna post out, have it saved on your phone. So then once you get in, Monday, you get ready to, just prospect. And then the other thing, and again, so I mentioned it's okay to take other people's content and use it in your own way. So a lot of times, what you want to follow other successful social media individuals, and it doesn't just have to be army people. Like there's a lot of Navy recruiters, Marine recruiters, Air Force recruiters doing great things, and then there's also people that are not in a service. That have great content. All you gotta do is put a army spin to it. So sometimes I may see I follow you want to follow people outside the army. So follow other social influencers, quote unquote, people that make content. I follow some real estate agents. I do some pretty cool things, some fitness people, and then I get an idea from them, and I just turn it into a recruiting idea. A big thing that you want to work on also nowadays is reels. So reels get you a lot of views. It reaches more people. So for those who know, reels are kind of like videos. So since we can't really use TikTok, that'd be a good way of using going bypassing that. Reels probably gets you the most views and likes out of anything you could do, out of just a picture. If you make a reel, and it could be, again, you can get the idea from another recruiter. You don't have to like make up your own idea. Just make it an army thing, but definitely network. And then the other thing you could do with people like this, and also the other military pages that I mentioned, collaborate. So if you have something that you think is going to be a good post, for example, I use Latinos in Uniform a lot. They share service members in uniform. So whenever I have a post that I know the person in the picture is of is Latin or Hispanic, then I make sure I have tagged them, or I use just a button that says collaborate. So then that way that page, their viewers, their followers is gonna see your content as well if they accept it. So if you network with those pages, and there's a lot of pages out there. There's pages for service members that are Native American. There's pages for service members with tattoos. So if you collaborate, talk to those people offline. Yeah, hey, look, I'm gonna be sharing, this. You mind if I hit the collaborate button, and then you can share it on your page as well. And then you're gonna get those eyeballs, and then your following is gonna start growing because you're getting people from those other pages on your page. So teamwork, and then even collaborate with another recruiter that may be in California or some other area, and then that way you both get likes and views working together. So again, you want to grow your brand. The big thing, even like, um, I haven't mentioned too much about like directly messaging individuals, because in my case, what I focus on again is advertisement. So I get content out there to get eyeballs on my page, and over time, people just they just gravitate towards messaging me because they think I'm their virtual army recruiter, no matter where they're located. So this is just a quick example. So, the people, so the first young lady on the left, she, I just started working with her. She messaged me yesterday, just got out of the National Guard, and she's in Florida, but she's further out, about 3 hours from me. But from everything that we've spoken with, she's gonna send me her documents today. Seems like she's gonna be a nomad, prior service, EC enlistment. But she just found me on social media, messaged me, had some questions, and kept it moving. Then the young man, the second picture, he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me. We ran the waiver on our side over here, and he got approved. He shipped off. He's at boot camp now, all the way from Delaware. Because again, a lot of people gonna, as you grow your brand and you get more followers, people are gonna start messaging you. A lot of times you'll get, quote unquote, dumb questions. You'll get people that message you out of the country that don't qualify. But I still talk to those individuals, keep it short, but I give them information, keep it cordial. Because, for example, the last young man, Mariano, when he first messaged me, he didn't have, a green card or anything. And then he messaged me, 'cause, he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues, tattoo waivers denied and whatnot, out in Delaware. And then he messaged me, 'cause he was having issues a few months back, and then he finally got his green card, and he's at basic training now. He just shipped up last month, because I actually took the time to talk with him a little bit. So if somebody messages me and they're not qualified, or they're overweight or have a big tattoo, whatever the case may be, I still take the time to talk with them, because again, those people are gonna start sharing your content. It's just like anything, customer service, just like how on the streets, if you treat you got a person that maybe not is not qualified, but you treat them good, they might bring you some referrals. It's the same thing. I get people that message me all the time. Hey, I got my cousin, or I got this person, and I see how you treat other people, how you take care of recruits. And it's because I share my future soldiers. I share my whenever somebody pulls a tent breast, I try to take a picture. Whenever I have like a good conversation on them on text messages, as long as they're cool with me sharing, I like to share that type of stuff. If I take them, grab them we all grab lunch or whatnot for a future soldier here and there. Take a picture of that, the quick selfie. It shows the people that are on your page that you care, and then they're gonna want to message you, as opposed to that other recruiter that all he does is he or she all they do is just share army ads from USAREC. You want to come up as a genuine person, whatever that may be. I do more like funny memes and videos, and then sprinkle a little army, like soldiers in and out of uniform, that type of stuff. But I know individuals that do great just posting like badass videos, whether it's airborne ranger type of stuff. Again, based on your area, what's gonna work best. But definitely make sure you get your face out there, show that you actually care, that you're not a robot. If you got a hobby, motorcycles, sneakers, use that tied into it, because then you're not, it's not going to be too strenuous. Like, if you're actually sharing stuff that you actually care about. Um, you don't have to share your family. I mean, I share mine here and there. You don't have to, share them and stuff, but small stuff like that helps. You went on a trip to Disney, shows that you get time off. You went to the beach. Everything that and it only takes 30 seconds to do that. That's why I don't understand certain people that that feel that social media it's a big burden. Is gonna pay off big time. It definitely helped me put in hundreds of people in the service, and then even appointments. As those days you need appointments, I know I can go on my Instagram and find me an appointment here and there. Even in the future, it might not turn out to anything, but it still make a conduct. And then these are some of the apps that I use, to make content. If you're trying to like create your own flyers and whatnot, Canva is pretty good. It's free. Now, obviously, if you pay, I think it's like an extra $3 or something like that. You can make premium content. I use this one right here, Mematic, to make my memes and watermark and stuff like that. If you try to do a collage of pictures, this is the one to use. And then repost. So again, like I was saying, you can share other people's content. Maybe you see a video you like on one of those pages I mentioned, or maybe use reg or whatnot. A lot of people don't know how to reshare videos. You can use an app like this, Repost. You click the link on the video, and it's gonna download the video for you, or picture. Like if somebody has a post of like 10 pictures, and you don't just want to sit there and screenshot the pictures, or you want to save the caption as well. If you use the Repost app, it would do all of that for you. It will save it to your phone. So these are basically the ones that I use every day, the Mematic and the Repost. Um, yeah. And then on this on in regards to before questions, I have another Instagram. It's called Winner Circle LFG. If you go on there, you got to hit request to get access. I'll approve it if I see you're a recruiter. And then on there, I have a few videos on like TTPs and other stuff. I'm gonna put more content on there in the next few days. So that's a good website to go on there. Well, not a good page that I put in, and now other successful recruiters and stuff I put on there. So if you follow this one right here, it's just I put stuff on there to help to fill out and whatnot. Second. All right. So what questions? I know I went through it, but anybody got any specific questions? Oh, sorry, Rains.
Hey, so I got a question about the like followers. So like I used to do the same thing in my last station about adding a bunch of people, and then I know it was an issue as far as like your ratio to followers. You go in there and it's a matter of like clout in front of the kids and all that. So do you have any apps that are good for like deleting the people that don't follow you back? Any ones that are good, or do you keep up with like trying to find the ones that'll let you use them?
Yeah, so I personally I wouldn't. So when I first started using Instagram, and my very first account I made, I got to like 1,000 followers, and then I just lost the account, and I was like super heartbroken. But it was because so Instagram, they don't like third party apps. So those apps that help you like follow and follow people, like automated. It a lot of times you're gonna at some point if they cash onto it, they'll delete your account. So I wouldn't recommend it just because you're gonna lose it. Now, if you go on your, let me see, if you go under on your following, and then you click following, and then you click on you can sort it by people that you least interact with. Maybe that's a way to do it. But as far as like using an app and stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend it because you're gonna lose your account. I just rotate like every few weeks I go in there and um unfollow certain people or whatever the case may be. But yeah, definitely it sucks, but don't do it because unless you want to risk losing your account. Anybody else got any other questions? And then as far as like the people people always ask me how do I process individuals from other states and whatnot. So I mean, it's really easy. The same process as you would anybody that comes to you. Obviously, besides not being there face to face. So for those that don't know, if you use the ACE record, they can actually digitally sign their forms on there. Now sometimes the ACE doesn't work, so I just email them the forms and then they can sign it. It's a lot of easy ways for if you go on that page that I mentioned. There's a video that shows people how to digitally sign documents on their iPhone. So if the ACE is not working, I email them the forms, and then they sign it on their iPhone, and then they email them back to me. And then once you have everything in there uploaded, I don't process individuals out of the area that require like a crazy waiver, just because it's not gonna, time wise, is not good for me or for the individual. Especially if you got to do a bunch of checks in different areas and whatnot. But so unless it's a easy cut and dry DUI waiver or something like that, I pass along to the local recruiting office, but I built the packet, try to do it A's. Everything's built. What I do is, let's say if I want to forward this person on a Friday, by that Monday, I reach out to the local office to do fingerprints. That's really the only thing you need help with is the fingerprints. But in case if you don't know, you can actually do fingerprints through the National Guard. So a lot of times I reach out to the National Guard, and then they'll help me out doing fingerprints. They have the same live scan system that we do. Instead of clicking National Guard, they'll just click USREC, and the live scans will come to us. So I tend to do that. Um, and then also once you upload all the documents, it's still gonna show your maps on the upload screen, but then you do a ghost projection, for that maps that you plan on using. And then after you upload something else, it's gonna change all the documents to the maps that you actually want to use. And then at that point is when I do the station commanded checkpoint so it goes to the right maps. And then I use DDPRT for those individuals that message me. It's like the East, it's like the old Jump Master East test. I do that, having PyCat from the house, and then I try to do same day process. In case you don't know, some of the other maps that are inside installation, those are the ones that are the hardest because you got to get transported by a service member. So some of them will let you get a pass, but a lot of times it's harder. So I have them do same day processing, and they drive themselves to the hotel, and then go from there. Or nowadays you got things like Uber and whatnot. But it's really easy. It's surprising how many people pass up on out of area enlistments just because it seems hard, but it's really not. I don't know if nobody got any more questions. What's going on first, huh?
Hey, Soren, I actually have a question.
Yes.
So like when you were saying about the Ace Records and the signing on their phones, so I almost got in trouble for doing something similar to that because there's like two ways that they could sign. It's Wet Ink or Topaz. So like,
Mhm.
were you able to like get around that somehow, or does your like battalion just not care? Thank you.
I, I've never you because you say you well because you say you're only allowed to use the toughest.
Well, like, yeah, I had to like look at the regulation because I almost got in trouble. So, yeah, they're only allowed here to do wet ink or topaz. They can't do any other form of electronic signature.
Mm. I mean, it's never been an issue for me. But I mean, if you look at the signatures, for toughest and the ones that they do on the because on the Ace record, it's the same thing. I'm not sure why it would be an issue. Uh, Honestly, I'll have to actually look at the because a lot of things also changed during the COVID. Because I remember at one point you had to like have your applicant with you whenever you called the rock, and then they made it to where you couldn't. And the same thing with the signature. I'll find I'm gonna look into it because I, I want to say like it shouldn't be a problem. Like I could be wrong. Maybe I just wrote a lot of people and that wasn't supposed to, but I'm gonna find out. I'll find out and I'll let you know.
And what was that question again? Sorry,
It was
Gonzalez.
a the one he asked.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh, he was asking about if the individual signing on like digital signatures. That I guess over there they will only take if it comes from the top his signature pad, as opposed to somebody because the Ace record allows you to sign it on your phone on your computer.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'll run that down through policy. I didn't know that the ACE record allowed you to start doing that.
Hmm.
You guys got any other questions for Son Gonzalez? I recommend if you haven't, find him on Instagram, follow him. He's got great content. Also follow his other page, the Winner's Circle. That's good for a training environment. For Instagram, he highlights a lot of other services recruiters, like so you know what your competition is doing out there. It's a great place. Gain content, gain TTPs, and for sure. Sarn Gonzalez, how many states how many different states did you have applicants from this last year?
Mm. Anywhere from 8 to 10. Um, Top of my head, it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, we went all over,
Yeah,
Delaware, Puerto Rico, Utah, New York. Yeah, a lot of places. And they all just again they all just reached out just because of social media. So it takes time and stuff, but if you guys actually put in, especially the ones that have longevity, still got a lot of time left in USREC or recruiting, it pays it off. Like, that first year for anything is always gonna be hard because you're trying to build something. But if you put in the time, in the next few years, like it's gonna be, and especially when I was a new recruiter, after like that first year, I was just you go to the schools, the kids already know you and they feel comfortable talking to you because nowadays kids they see you on social media, so they to them that's more they know you more on there than than face to face. They feel more comfortable. Some kids don't want to talk to you, but they'll talk to you on social media. And again, also use your future soldiers. Like, you might not be the greatest person on social media, but I'm sure there's a future soldier out there that does great things on there. Have them share your stuff. Even if it's just your business card, have them. Hey, I need you to post this on your story on Instagram. So always use your future soldiers. They can recruit for you.
Yeah, so for all the guys on this class, I mean, the main point why I wanted Sarn Gonzalez, one, I mean, he does great work as far as social media goes, but he's doing it in other places. So, you know, if somebody had the thought, well, yeah, this is where he's located, you know, of course he's going to do well, but he's doing it, he's getting it in other places. I just saw a post where he wrote an Army reservist in Denver, like earlier this week, like, so it's working. What he's doing is working in other places. So if you guys follow these TTPs, follow the path that he's laid out, it's going to make you more successful in our area. I mean, and we're geographically dispersed, so utilizing this, I mean, cuts down the windshield time tremendously and can make you more effective. So anybody else got any other questions for Sarn Gonzalez? We're gonna let him get back to his leave. You see any hands? No response. So, Sarn Gonzalez, thank you for taking your time to share some insight with these guys. I'm sure they'll probably be hitting you up in the DMs and figuring out some other ways to be successful. So, I appreciate you coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me. And again, if somebody, you guys feel free to message me. I don't mind helping out or whatnot. And just the hardest thing with out of areas is, like I said, it's easy. You just gotta the logistics. Like you gotta call that MEPS, figure out how to how they do things, how they do their Genesis pre-screens, that type of stuff. But once you actually make those phone calls and you coordinate transportation, it's really easy. So it's free contracts out there. But all right, you guys have a great day though. Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you. All right, guys, I recorded this, so you'll see the recording here in a little bit. You guys come back, watch it as